My name is Jakob. I'm the founder of AmplitudeVentures, which is a venture studio. We build companies and have been very heavily focused on music tech for many years. My role in the music industry is, I would say, some sort of skeptical figure that knows how to build stuff. So I usually challenge startups about how they build the businesses, help them build more lean, more sensible. So often take a position of domain expertise and then just very lean startup methodology. And we have a lot of developers, so we build technology together with companies. Over the years, we've built many different things. In music, we've been very focused on like API technology, so blockchain-based ticketing technology we've worked a lot with. But we tend to be very B2B. So we really like infrastructure issues and help technology founders in music tech, especially, solve those. I came here to California first and foremost to be at the accelerator program as a mentor. I speak a lot about music tech financing. I think there's a very big academic gap in that whole knowledge base. So I speak a lot about that. So it's basically academic research and then paired with my founder and investor experience. So the intersection between those is where I have a particular domain interest, where I've also done a lot of academic work. Basically, music tech financing is a really interesting beast because a lot of people talk about it, but there is really no academics. So a lot of our work is, I did a 100-page paper on the status of music tech financing, very much from a qualitative angle. Like, what are the actuals behind the scenes statements from investors, from founders, and basically try to figure out what the commonalities between successful investment cases and exits. So I talk a lot about sort of the common parameters of a successful music tech investment. And this academia doesn't really exist. So that's where me and my team also do a lot of work. The most striking point about music tech investment is that people don't really have numbers to base their thesis on. So investors, this is a big claim, but my claim is investors either have wrong numbers or inaccurate numbers or a lacking investment thesis, which means that investment in music tech is very little repeatable. Because when you have successful stories, you can't really point to where they came from a thesis or what data that supports that as an investment case. So basically, as it is right now, in my opinion, a music tech investment is not a repeatable, scalable approach. And that is our biggest finding, that when we've spoken with so many VCs and research and data, is that there is no repeatable thesis that people use that can be implemented in future as well. I believe it's possible to create a pattern for success stories. The problem is also that the data foundation of all of this is very, very scarce. So that's one of the things we're working on as well, basically creating a bigger database of fundings, acquisitions, and I believe the current data interpretations are very lacking of the actualities, and most of the data is based on America. There's a whole ecosystem in Europe that has not appropriate data to really make any statements. So our approach is very foundational. So we have 4 full-time music tech researchers on a team that basically are finding the data from scratch, and the data that is there, we're rechecking. So we're doing a heavy lifting for basically trying to create the foundation. First time in California, I had a lot of FOMO last year. I didn't go. I was invited, but I think it's really cool to be here, and this is the first day of where most people are here, but looking forward to the rest of the week. Why is it important to be in California? I think it's a good question, and that's the thing that I'm continuously struggling with. What is the purpose of meeting in an industry where business is of second nature? I think you can see it from a macro perspective that it is important for industry movements. From an individual perspective, I think most of the reasons are relationship-based, which I think is a bit of a shame, because I do believe that when companies invest to go to a place, that the financial output should also be very, very big. This is, the same across all conferences around the world in music and music tech. So I think the output is limited beyond relationships on an individual level, and I hope that will change in the next decades, that the actual business output of these conferences are substantial. Music tech is not as strong as people think. I don't think people believe it's very strong in the first place, but I would argue it's weaker. And one of the things that I'm very concerned about is if there is an element of smoke and mirrors about what music tech is and how attractive it is, it's really not helpful to the ecosystem. I believe that a more sober nuance to the state of where this is would be very, very helpful in basically forcing certain players to do proper work to make it a better place. And I think, not to say, I think a lot of players are trying to make it a better place, and I think I just speak from more Scandinavian dark space. But I think there's so much room for improvement, people don't realize how poor condition it actually is. And obviously, conferences like this do a really good effort, and I applaud that. But there's so far to go.